Joining me now to discuss is constitutional attorney Robert McWhirter. Thank you so much for being here today to break it down and figure things out here. Let's listen to what Governor Pritzker said this week about Trump's plan to send troops to Chicago. Then I'll get your take on the other side.
Part of their kind of nefarious plan is begin with ICE, cause mayhem on the ground, and by doing that, say that there's a need for military troops on the ground to protect ICE. And so that's why I've talked a lot about, for the people who are going to protest, they've got to protest peacefully, not give them any reason to call in National Guard.
So we wanted to bring you on to get the constitutional perspective. You know, is deploying the National Guard a lawful way to support ICE operations? Is that how you see it?
No, not at all. It simply isn't. Look, for any precedent of this, you'd have to go back to Little Rock, Arkansas in 1957 when President Eisenhower called. But what it makes a good comparison. What President Eisenhower was doing was enforcing a lawful order from the United States Supreme Court after Brown versus Board of Education in 1954 and 55 to desegregate Little Rock, Arkansas High School. And so what President Eisenhower did was sent the 101st Airborne in, and then he nationalized the National Guard, took control of it so that they wouldn't be a problem, and the governor would lose control of that. And that was to enforce a lawful order from the United States Supreme Court. Well, this is the exact opposite. The orders from the courts are the exact opposite. And Donald Trump is just going in under this very thin excuse that he's going to protect ICE agents, et cetera. And it just simply is unlawful.
Yeah, I mean, we're waiting any moment for more action in Chicago. We've got our cameras there. We've heard it's coming. And, of course, now we've got the possibility of New Orleans and now Portland, too. Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth is weighing in on this as well. I wanted to play you some sound. She says that Trump's plan to send troops to cities to crack down on crime doesn't align with their mission. Listen to this.
So were the governor to ask me if he should activate the Illinois National Guard, my advice to him would be no. It is not an appropriate use of the National Guard. Again, this is political theater. This is an attempt to politicize our military for a wannabe tin pot dictator in Donald Trump. It is not the right use of the National Guard. The National Guard should not be on the streets of our city intimidating citizens. They should not be carrying weapons of war and being told that they should be pointing those weapons of war on our citizens. That is not the use of the National Guard.
So I wanted to ask you legally, how much authority does the president have to order this kind of deployment?
Well, he does have some authority if the governor requests it under the Posse Comitatus of 1878. There is also what's called a very old statute called the Insurrection Act. But you have to justify that with insurrections. And by the way, both of those require congressional approval, if not initially, at least eventually. So really, he's just on very shaky grounds. I mean, look, let's say there actually is an insurrection. Let's say that Quebec wants to invade New York or something. Well, the president has power to do that, but that's very thin going on here. And you also have to point out the cities that you mentioned, New Orleans, Portland, Chicago, he's picked only democratically controlled cities with Democratic mayors. And there are Republican-controlled cities with much higher crime rates that are not getting President Trump's special treatment here. And I think that is what's really going on and the violation of the Constitution.
Can I just ask you, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but obviously one would think that somebody of your stature, you know, a constitutional expert, and obviously all the lawyers, that they're checking in with people such as yourself before doing things like this. So when you say that he's on shaky ground, where do you think the advice is coming from?
Well, President Trump has not called me, so I can.
We'll try and put you in touch. We can try.
I think he's getting it from his political people. This is political theory, and it most certainly is. And to put this in kind of real constitutional context, look, the framers of our Constitution divided power between the branches of governments to protect individual rights, but they also divided power between the federal government and the state. And that's ultimately to protect our individual rights. It's a diffusion of power because we don't want that all in the hands of one person, in this case, the Trump regime and Donald Trump. And this is what they envision, and that's why you have the separation of powers and federalism. And this is just a violation of what the framers intent, with all of a sudden a president taking over a state National Guard, or perhaps bringing in National Guardsmen from other states, which hasn't happened since 1861 in the Civil War. And this is directly contrary to what is written.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.